Hi, I'm Gray Moonen, and I'm a former Parachute Brainwaves Site Coordinator. Thank you for joining me as a Brainwaves volunteer. This series of videos will help you learn how to present Parachute Brainwaves. While a student of neuroscience at university, I trained hundreds of instructors to present Parachute Brainwaves program. I've delivered the Brainwaves program in elementary school classrooms, but the program could also be presented to other groups of children from ages 9 to 12 outside of the school settings. Boy Scouts, Girl Guides, really wherever kids of this age gather, Brainwaves can be there. In this series of videos, I will share instructions and tips for you, the instructor, so you can deliver a successful Parachute Brainwaves presentation. There are a few things you need to take care of before your presentation day. First thing, a week before, review the instructor guide and student activity booklet to identify all the materials you may need to prepare for the presentation. If you're presenting with a second instructor, get in touch with them a little bit before the presentation and decide who is going to buy what to help prepare you for the presentation. Make sure you touch base with the school contact, so either your teacher or your principal, to confirm the time of day of your Brainwaves presentation and any instructions on how to actually get to the school and park. Remember to ask if any children have special needs or allergies and about what break times you may need to build into the classroom depending on the individual school. Be sure to find out about visiting procedures at the school, such as signing in at the main office, parking availability, and which entrance to use. You might have to improvise and adjust your presentation to meet the specific needs of the classroom, depending on size and specific needs. Remind your teachers to ask their students to bring in their bicycle or sports helmets if possible, as proper helmet fitting techniques are a very big part of the presentation. You should also bring your helmet along to have one for demonstration to be sure. Have the teacher stay in the classroom for the duration of the presentation. This usually helps to keep the children focused. The day before the presentations, you have a few things to check off on your checklist. Be sure to prepare your Jell-O brain. Yes, this is definitely a thing that you need. Watch the how-to video with Parachute Steve Podborski on how to actually do this. You will get this mold from Parachute, but you may need to actually purchase the Jell-O and ingredients for the mold locally. Confirm the arrival time and attendance of your partner if the two of you are paired for a presentation, just to make sure things are smooth when you show up to the presentation. Use the materials checklist to make sure that you have everything you actually need prior to the presentation. On the day of your presentation, get there around 30 minutes before the scheduled start time so you have enough time to follow the school's visitor procedure, introduce yourself to the teachers, sign in, and set up the classroom in a way that you'll like. Be sure to touch base with the teacher to ask if there are any ground rules in the classroom that help the kids stay focused. For example, do kids raise their hands when they have questions, or do we wait and ask questions at the end of the presentation? If there's no signal to quiet a rowdy bunch in the classroom, come up with one with the help of the teacher. Be sure to set up all activities prior to the presentation, and this will give you more time to actually spend on the experiments. You may also want to rearrange the desk into smaller groups depending on the class size and the actual way the classroom is set up. It's helpful to arrange some space at the front of the classroom for any activities that you want to demonstrate. Distribute your Brainwaves booklets, but nothing else, as the additional props and activity materials will only distract the student's attention. Here are some crucial things to remember about your presentation. First, Brainwaves is not a lecture. Keep it fun. The activities are the best part, and the children love them. It's a great opportunity to put the lessons that you're teaching them into action and convince them that everything you're telling them is actually true. Improvise when and wherever necessary. This is okay. Don't forget to involve all the students in the presentations. There are bound to be some quiet kids in the classroom, and be sure to try to find ways of including them if possible. Time management for a Brainwaves presentation is key. Keep your presentations within the time frame discussed with your teacher, including the breaks that the kids may need. There's a very good chance that you're not going to get all the activities, and once again, that's okay. Do consult the instructor's guide for the recommended lengths for all the modules, and this will actually help you in advance plan the presentation a bit more smoothly. Remember, it's very important to include injury prevention messages in each model you teach, and be sure to tie each module you're doing to the fundamental message of let's protect our brains and be smart. If there are two of you, work out exactly what you want to cover in your presentation and then time yourselves before the presentation. The better you know the material, the easier it is, and the more fun it'll be for the students if the presentation actually runs smoothly. Some teachers have suggested that writing out some of the vocabulary and spelling on the board can be very helpful for student retention, and I agree. Once you have done all the activities, it's time to wrap up the day into a nice, neat, tidy, informative package. Remember to reiterate and reinforce all of the injury prevention messages from each of the modules. The final presentation should be about the Jello brain. This is the most popular attraction, as you can imagine, during the presentation, and really make sure that they understand the Jello consistency is the consistency of the brain, and it's very fragile, and you really want to do what you can to protect it. Finally, clean up your materials and put desks back in their original position. Don't forget to thank the students for their time and attention and their teacher for having you. And thank you for watching and working with Brainwaves. Check out the rest of our training videos for Brainwaves activities.